Hi, welcome to Marketing Management. This is Managing Price and I'm Dave Alexander. What is the ultimate cost of value? So today we'll be looking at pricing, and at the end of today's session you'll be able to understand the relationship between price sensitivity and customer value proposition and be able to analyse and contrast the impact of pricing strategies for new and existing products. So the overview for today's session. Why is price important? What are the pricing considerations we have to take on board? What are the different pricing strategies available to us? And finally, how does price affect positioning? So price can be defined as the measure of value between the buyer in exchange for the value offered by the seller. A price is only worth what the buyer will pay for it. Now, that will vary depending on your target market. That will vary depending on your product and your industry. And it will vary depending on your competitors. So why is price important? Well, it is the only aspect of the marketing mix that brings revenue into the organisation. So the price needs to be right, otherwise our buyers will go elsewhere. It can serve as a base for competitive differentiation. We can use price as a competitive advantage, perhaps in the way that EasyJet or Ryanair do. And it can denote quality. Do we get what we pay for? Is that what our consumers really think? So Shapiro and Jackson have put together this model, the three aspects that gives us our pricing methods. So what do we mean by cost, competition and marketing? Well, cost. It's the internal. It's based on regaining costs, changing costs within the organisation, cutting down cost to us as a business. And maybe we could pass that cost on to our consumer, that cost saving on to our consumer. Or maybe we don't, and we ensure then our long-term profitability. Competitor. We need to know what's going on in the competitive environment. We need to know what our competitors are charging. We need to know whether their products are similar to ours or not, and whether those prices are appropriate for the target market. And then finally, marketing. And that's the value that customers place on the product. And you hear marketers talk a lot about value, and we don't just mean the price of the product. We mean all the other things that consumers place value on. That could be convenience, time saving, for example. So when setting our pricing strategies, there are various different aspects we need to think about. We need to think about those internal costs of the business and our profit margins. We need to think about customer satisfaction. Will they be satisfied with paying more for our product? Will they be satisfied paying less for our product? Or will they think that it's cheap rubbish? Again, the competition I've mentioned, the value I've mentioned. Where is it that customers place value? Is it on their status? Is it that they've been after one of our products for a long time, but they couldn't afford it, so they've been saving up, and now they can have it, so they now have that certain amount of status? We need to look at international markets. Are we taking our product internationally? And what are the pricing structures out there? What is acceptable in those markets? And therefore, we come up with our different pricing strategies and approaches. So different pricing strategies. There are several that a marketer can choose from. But again, they need to be appropriate. So I've got some examples here. We have the skimming strategy. We'll start off, we'll introduce the product at a really high price. We'll skim that profit off the top. And we can use that profit to keep our shareholders happy with higher dividends. We can pay back research and development or start researching our new products, market research, etc., etc. So we'll start high and reduce the price as perhaps more competition comes in. But we'll skim off the profit to ensure we keep stakeholders happy. We can use promotional pricing strategies, generally used towards the end of the life cycle. try to elongate the life of that product. Ensure that it doesn't go into decline. It stays at maturity. That could involve 50% off, for example. Or it could be buy two, get a third free, as we see all the time in the high street. A cost-plus strategy means that what we're doing is looking at all our internal costs, and we're looking at those costs and thinking, well, how much profit do we want to make on top of that? So we'll have our costs per product, per item produced. So that may be £1 per item. And on each item, we want to make 10% profit. So cost plus would mean that we sell the item for £1.10. And that's all very well and good. But we need to bear in mind that our raw materials, those costs may go up or down, and therefore your price will go up and down and fluctuate. Maybe your consumer won't be happy with that. With a new product, we could use a penetration strategy. Start low, penetrate the market, get people to trial the product. Once they've tried the product, they'll come back and buy it again and again and again. And therefore, we start raising the price of the product. So we start low and raise the price of the product as it gets introduced to the market. A premium pricing strategy is pretty much what it says on the tin. We are an exclusive product. You get what you pay for, and therefore you will pay a premium price for it. And that doesn't have to be in luxury goods. It doesn't have to be in high-end luxury cars. That could be with things like Tesco's Finest food products or Innocent Smoothies. They're a premium product. They're the best of the best, and therefore you'll pay more for it. Other pricing strategies available to us as marketers are predatory pricing. What are the competition pricing their products at? And we'll go in lower. We'll ensure we undercut every single one of our competitors to try to take them out of the market, make them irrelevant. That may also stop new entrants coming into the market because prices are going down. However, we need to be careful, because if we use predatory pricing, then we could enter into a price war, and that can be damaging for not just our brand, but the competitor's brand as well. There's also psychological pricing, and I've got the example here of $9.99. Yeah, it's not a tenner. It's $9.99. So playing, if you like, on the emotion of the consumer. And it's not just in fast-moving consumer goods where we see that kind of pricing that we see every day. If you think about car sales, it's not £15,000, it's $14,995. Psychological pricing. And then finally, we have price discrimination. It offers a better price to one customer over another. And the examples I've put there are perhaps UK car prices. It's the same car as you'll get in France or Germany, but we have to pay more. They're discriminating against us in the UK for whatever reason, because our quality of life are better or our wages are higher. Banks do it a lot. We see it a lot with banks, and the fact that for new customers only, you can't have those really good interest rates on the savings because you're a current customer. You can't have preferential interest rates on your mortgage because that's for new customers. And again, the same with insurance companies. We see insurance companies offering better deals to certain geographic or demographic regions. So, price discrimination. If there is no real differentiation in your product, you may just have to take the going rate. For example, coffee beans, flour, something like that. So positioning. You wouldn't just position your own products on this map. You position the industry on there. And it's not just your perception, it's your consumer's perception. That's what really matters. So are you high price, high quality? Or do your consumers see you as high price, low quality? It's all very well you thinking you're high price, high quality, but it's what your consumers think. That consumer perception, that's what really matters. By mapping the industry on something like this, you'll also get to see where there are gaps. You'll also get to see where there are gaps in the market. So maybe there is a space for a low price, high quality good in your industry. Maybe then that's something you can develop. As I've already mentioned, pricing will affect customer perception. Maybe it's perception of your brand. Maybe they see you as high quality. Maybe they see you as a status symbol. Maybe they see you as the low-cost option. It's possible, though, as I've mentioned with price wars, that if you keep reducing your prices, that will have an effect on your brand, a negative effect. Because if you keep reducing your prices, if you keep having sales, then people expect it all the time. And again in the UK, we see that a lot with furniture stores. They're constantly having sales. So why pay full price at any point for furniture? Because we know there's a sale only a week away. And it will badly affect the perception the consumer has on your brand. Price is what you charge, but value is what you sell. Warren Buffett. Really interesting quote. That was Managing Price. I've been David Alexander. Thanks very much.